I see our attendees are coming. I'm just doing the final checks. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Nice to see a lot of people from different places, and I see some familiar faces as well. I'm going to go through the rules, but as we do most of the time, I'm going to give you a few minutes just to see if everything is working well. Let me just put the chat and the Q&A section for me as well, so I can see your questions. Perfect. I mean, before we start, I see some people are joining. It might take some time. So for our guests right now, feel free. Your microphones will be muted, so you don't really need to be afraid of having accidental sounds coming through the webinar. And for the questions, maybe you can see the Q&A button on Zoom. So basically, this is what we are going to ask you. So I'm going to do this announcement one more time, maybe in 1 or 2 minutes. But for the ones who already joined, if you can write something on chat and Q&A, that would be perfect. And if you can see my screen, I would love to get a feedback on that too. Okay. I see Lior raising hand. Maybe he's testing this, but actually, if you can write on chat and the Q&A section, we are going to get this question later on. Okay. Sorry, chat is off, so Q&A is all the way. So Anthony, this is perfect. Thank you, guys. So the Q&A will be the first one that you are going to ask your questions. Our team and our panelists are going to see the questions, so please feel free to ask whenever you want, because we are going to start the flow. We have great panels. Maybe in 2 minutes, we can start. Anthony and Lior, thank you for the comments on the Q&A right away. I can see it. Perfect. Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? You can write it on Q&A, that should be fine. At least I can see it, just to make sure. Perfect. Good. I think without further ado, we can start our event. Hello, everyone. This is Khan, founder of Hackquarters, and I'm so happy that you made it to today. PropTech Challenge is something that we were really looking into for a long time, and now we are quite happy that you actually joined us for the program as well. We are quite interested in PropTech for different reasons, and you are going to meet with some interesting people that you might really like to work in soon. In our program, we try to keep it in a different structure than our regular Hackquarters programs. I don't know if this is your first Hackquarters program or not, but we have our gold partners, Renaissance Gayrimenkul, a great and huge construction company that we are going to have guests today. We have eOffice, which they provide a lot of commercial solutions and co-working solutions. And in terms of our community partners, we have a lot of funds who are interested in investing in PropTech companies. We have some country funds or promotion agencies, like from Spain's Catalonia. We have French Business France. We have Scalar North Capital. Today you are going to meet with Sam, one of the investors in the Scalar North Capital. We have Kennedy, and we have other people coming up. So this program is so far so global, which is something that we were looking for. As I mentioned, I'm Khan. I'm founder of Hackquarters. If you joined any other of our programs that we probably met before. And let me just talk a little bit about the agenda today. So we already put 5 minutes for people who are currently trying to connect and join us. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what PropTech Challenge is. Some of you might have little information for it, but still there is time, so feel free. The second part of today will be our fireside chat with Sam Goldsober. He is principal at Scalar North Capital. They invest in a lot of prop tech companies. They're based in the UK, but they're looking for other places. I have my questions. Probably you do have your questions as well. Then we are going to have a fireside chat in terms of collaboration for innovation. One of our gold partners, Renaissance Holding, will be represented by Toygun and Dilshat. You are going to get their LinkedIn profiles as well if you want to connect with them, feel free. And it is going to be moderated by Sabina, our COO at Hackquarters. I might not be at the end of the session. Maybe Sabina will close today's session, but I'm really looking forward to answering your questions or any kind of intentions. You can always reach out to us through email. So just a little bit about Hackquarters. We actually founded Hackquarters roughly 8 years ago. And so far we've delivered more than 100 programs, which includes like 40 plus startup accelerators. We work in different domains. If you look at our programs, we generally work in fintech, insurtech, healthcare, and the other projects like retail technologies is one of the interesting things, blockchain. And with the technology, every industry is kind of like moving into each other. So for the PropTech program, which is not an accelerator, but a challenge, which we really like, because then we can bring the great startups who are innovating in the space and also companies who are leading the space so they can start collaborating, getting some investments, or even doing projects together. So while we are doing our program, we tailor our programs to our commercial clients or corporate partners, and how we run the programs are quite transparent. So both startups and our partners like us very much. And the good thing is we are doing it in a global scale. We do have offices in London and in Istanbul, but we have a lot of programs in different places such as Portugal, Italy, Spain. This weekend, we have a program in Azerbaijan. We did 2 programs in Germany and 2 programs in United Arab Emirates. And that gives us this growth mindset and great resources for our clients and our startups. And after I mentioned in this programs, you can see some of our clients that we've been working for maybe 5-6 years, great companies, and we received more than 30,000 startup applications to the programs that we designed for our clients and run. And this program is no different. We currently have roughly 100 startup applications from, I think it was like 20 different countries. I need to check our numbers, but the good thing is if you're a startup founder in PropTech space, or if you know someone, they can apply. All of our programs are free to apply, and we don't really get anything in return. So that's quite great for the startups. So why we are interested in PropTech Challenge? When you think about properties, it is the biggest asset class in the world. So we are having some kind of transformation in the world with many innovation happening throughout. And PropTech is no different. So a lot of companies in this space, traditional companies, are interested in managing their businesses very well and getting to the new frontiers. So we set up this program with a lot of partners that we mentioned. So this is our meetup. We do have some value discovery sessions with our partners just to understand what kind of problems that they're having right now. And we try to bring the best PropTech startups around the world so they can team up and solve this challenge. And hopefully startups can grow as fast as possible and our clients keep their leadership in the game. And the next event that we are going to do publicly will be the demo day. And when you think about property, there are so many different verticals, which we are going to mention with Sam as well. So we are really interested in like smart real estate and sustainability, real estate management, construction itself, mobility, the smart cities, and the new kind of like living spaces. And also when you have your house, you need to have your like either like insurances or, for example, the deed of the house, you need maybe blockchain and tokenization of the assets. And of course, like mortgages and those kind of things. So real estate fintechs, transaction-wise or financial-wise, new solutions. So there are really great companies that we've seen. We are not going to say that these companies are the best of the best, but these are the companies who are fitting the most to our corporate clients. So hopefully for the all applications, we are going to help you to meet with great companies, maybe bring you a nice revenue down the line. Again, the applications are still open until the 2nd of October. We are going to do a short listing, and our partners are actually joining us for a pitching play. If you are going to be shortlisted, we are going to ask you to join us in a closed session as startups, and we are going to close our event at 20th of October, and we will start doing these introductions for each of the partners that we identified and with the startups identified. For people who are currently thinking, should we connect or should we join this program? I mean, especially for startups, it's no-brainer. So it will bring you visibility, access to innovation, and access to Hackquarters network. And if you're in PropTech, if you're an investor, if you're a construction company, definitely there are so many things that you can do. You can get networks as well, but we are going to share the deal flow coming from the startups that we identified as a great potential in the market. So one more reminder, we have the applications open until the 2nd of October. We are really looking forward to have the great startups with us. But without further ado, with like 2 minutes delay, Sam, if you can hear me, I would be happy if you can turn on your camera and microphone. And let's start our first fireside chat.
Hi, Khan.
Hi, nice to have you here. We did have small chats, but to be honest, I didn't still even mention what Scalar North Capital is. So maybe we should start first. Welcome. We are really happy to have you here. But maybe we can start with who is Sam and what does Scalar North Capital does, and then we will continue with our questions.
Oh yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Sam, principal at Scalar North. We are a private investment vehicle, family office. We like to invest across the real estate space. So PropTech is one of several verticals for us. We define the wider environment as the built environment. So anything that interacts with physical infrastructure, PropTech is a vertical, construction tech, smart cities, smart buildings, clean climate, green tech, all that stuff. It's super broad. We also invest in some other non-real estate verticals. We've got a couple of fintech investments, some gaming, health and fitness. So a huge range. And then we look to make investments in the UK, Europe, Israel, and the US. So that's a whistle-stop tour on us.
That sounds really good. I think we already shared your LinkedIn profile. Maybe our team can also share Scalar North Capital's website. At least the PropTech companies who are interested in the program and also your investment company, they can check it out, maybe ask relevant questions. But we already have some discussions because, as you said, there are so many different verticals and they're merging together. So I would like to talk, starting first, emerging trends. What do you see overall in PropTech when we talk about PropTech? What kind of emerging technologies that you are seeing, and what makes you happy or excited in terms of companies or startups tackling those kind of problems?
So for us, what we really like seeing at the moment is the sustainable push from the PropTech and the wider real estate space. So I think you mentioned in your introduction that real estate is the largest asset class in the world, but it's also one of the largest carbon polluters. So there's a big push and a big conscious effort to reduce the carbon output, and loads of decarbonisation technologies are coming forward. So, we're seeing a huge amount of stuff in the Industry 4.0 world, so your smart cities, smart buildings, technologies around kind of HVAC systems and heat pumps that reduce the cost of heating and cooling in large buildings. We're seeing loads of generative AI at the moment. A lot of that is geared towards design rendering. It's also geared towards a lot of design rendering at the moment. And then we're looking at sustainable materials and processes. So there's a big push with circular economy at the moment, and actually breaking down buildings in a sustainable way and reusing materials where possible. In part, there's a big mandate in Europe at the moment where property planning has to go through a circular economy kind of tunnel almost. So that has to be incorporated into the planning. So there's a big push on that. And I think what we're expecting to see off the back of that is a lot of kind of multi-use assets. So your single-use purpose built buildings will probably be more of a thing of the past as developers start to think about different ways they can use a property. So we're expecting a lot more exciting technologies as well in terms of retrofitting and modular design and modular building, where 5, 10, 15 years down the line, actually technologies are present that can kind of reuse the asset in different ways. So yeah, that's sort of what a lot was coming to our desk. We've got one in our portfolio, actually, a company called Converge. They're a decarbonizing technology, hardware and software B2B, and it's all about the data capturing in concrete materials and processes to reduce the use of concrete in the build process and therefore reduce the overall kind of carbon emission.
I mean, especially carbon emissions is one of the biggest questions or the topics, I think, overall what we are seeing in the world. And as you said, like wherever you see now, I'm sitting in a real estate. There are so many building materials of it. We live in real estate. We work in real estates, and that's kind of like most of the resources as humans where we put it. So that's definitely an interesting aspect of it. And we tend to see a lot of like anti-carbon emission materials, which is a great thing. Like every day we kind of like come up with new companies trying to provide solutions in different regions. And of course, those companies require some investment because property itself is the biggest asset class, depending on how you are kind of doing the business. But the investment is an important part of it. So as a VC, at the end of the day, I can imagine what kind of things that you are looking for. But in terms of PropTech, especially with your experience, because I think you have a different model in terms of your value proposition. It's not just money, it's quite smart money. Would you care to elaborate on how do you choose the companies that you are planning to invest? So what makes you tick when you see a founder or business plan?
Yeah, so our criteria. So generally speaking, the way we look at PropTech isn't different to how we look at other verticals. We have 4 main buckets at Scalar North that we put companies into. And these are actually by order. So the main thing for us, or probably the largest bucket, is the market. So market size, market competition, and also timing. So things like social and regulatory tailwinds are quite a big kind of part of that. And in PropTech especially, the regulatory tailwinds I just mentioned about the circular economy mandate in Europe. There's various other things in the UK and across the world which are pushing on innovation. So that's our first bucket. The second is the team. And we're really looking for why the team itself and the makeup of the team are the best cohort of people to solve the problem that they're addressing. So the common term is founder market fit, so to speak. So it's all around that. The third bucket is the product. So you're talking about the innovation of the product and the differentiation. And then the fourth bucket is the execution. So things such as the financials and the metrics, and things like go to market and how they're executing their plans. So I think with PropTech, though, which is interesting, is because it's the largest asset class in the world, there's two real advantages to the PropTech space. So firstly is as we said, a large asset class. So you really can solve for if you can solve for a pervasive problem, so something that affects many, you can actually capture, or you can have, a huge obtainable market. So it's a market in which you can create a lot of value, and you can drive real value and real solutions through technologies. And then the second interesting part about PropTech is the real estate space in general is quite slow. Well, it's notoriously slow to adopt tech. So there are very smart ways you can actually digitize processes and procedures that again drive real value. We've got a company in our another portfolio company called Visaline. They're based in Finland, and it's a workflow management tool. So it's great because it's pervasive. So the tool can be applied to any building site across the world. It's not a UK focus, or it's not a France or Germany focus, but any building site. And it drives real value on large scale products. So, you know, the project. So the savings that it creates, the technology, it goes into the hundreds of thousands per project. So it's a real tangible cost saving they're providing, and yeah, they're doing really well.
I mean, I don't have any doubts because, as you said, like when you think about like a property development itself, so many people are working. There are so many different workflows in terms of the field and also even the paperwork because it comes with a lot of stages. So they need really specific tools to run those processes. And we started to have few questions from Nathan. I'm going to come back to that because you're an investor. Of course, everybody is interested. What is like the ticket size? When do you invest? And do you lead any kind of deal? So if you want, we can have it like an intermission. What you can just answer that part as well.
Yeah, happy to answer that. So yeah, I think the question was what stage, what are ticket sizes, and do we
Yeah.
lead? So typically look to invest in seed Series A. But for us, it's more about the stage of the business. So we like to take on commercial risk rather than development risk. So companies which have a product, an MVP, a proof of concept, and actually a bit more than that, they have some traction, they have some early customers, and one of our hurdles is a £10,000 MRR figure. So you know, if you're above that hurdle, please come and speak to us. Our ticket sizes range. I would say a sweet spot's probably a few £100,000. But we can go up to a couple of million, and obviously we can come in with a smaller ticket. We have led investments before. We'll typically lead, or if we do lead an investment, I should say, it will probably be in this real estate world because that's really a lot more of our DNA. But we do a lot of following as well. You know, we're happy to co-invest or follow on around or lead if the circumstances are right.
I mean, Anatoly, sorry, also asked like how much MRR would it be? Do you have any kind of like revenue perspective, like expectation? Because you are saying that it's after MVP, so you can say that maybe it's not even clear.
Yeah. So for us, our threshold for MRR is £10,000. You know,
Okay.
£10,000 a month or £120,000 a year. That's sort of the entry level which we start considering. But
exactly.
Of course, we look at businesses which have, you know, a million in recurring revenue annually. So it can, you know, we look at larger as well.
I mean, to be honest, like £10,000 or dollars technically shows you that you kind of started. You're a business. Something less than that could be a little bit hobby, like early stage trying and error. So it is quite relevant. But probably if they are looking for to raise like 2 million from you, they need to be through their like business model and maybe a little bit more valid pipeline of clients or already like contracts. So let's go back to the challenges because we always have like early stage companies in any vertical, they have their challenges. If you think about the prop tech specifically, how do you feel that is there a different problem in prop tech domains? And do you think that this is kind of an opportunity for some of the companies? How do you think that?
So yeah, of course, there's problems and challenges in startups in general and in any vertical, but in prop tech especially, I think what's interesting, which we notice, is early traction is actually very, very difficult to get in the real estate space, and it's a combination of a few things, and it's as I mentioned before, the industry is quite slow to adopt technology. There are some forward-thinking businesses, but really the large players and even a lot of mid-market, you know, things have been done a certain way and they like to keep them that way. The processes are done like this, the systems are this, so they're averse to moving. I think one of the best ways and the best things to get around that is, you know, to partner with accelerators, to partner with good investors, to partner with strategic, you know, partners or corporates who can actually open those early doors and those initial doors. And I think you mentioned our model, as well as providing money, is this idea of smart money. So you know, we have a great network in the space, in the industry, in the UK and Europe, and we often help segue technologies into our LPs, our corporate partners, to trial them, to kind of sandbox them, to help them develop their products, and And it goes both ways, because we help them and they also help us get a really good insight of the business. And it might be before we've even invested. So we can kind of track the technology in a trial setting, and that for us really helps our thesis and our assessment.
I mean, I can imagine that because, for example, in fintech, that's kind of a highly regulated industry as well, or healthcare. Generally, over there, the biggest problem is maybe getting the first license, because technically, before the license, you are uncommercial. You shouldn't do business. And in property industry, the established companies are so big, so you cannot go head to head. So you need to choose your like maybe first clients or strategic partners, and for you to providing the both capital and maybe a headway for an industry, I think that's kind of a quite strong value proposition in terms of an investor point of view. And again, I think this would be the last question that we are going to discuss now. We would be happy to forward to you any questions that we get after that, for sure. Maybe we will get you back on the demo days. We will talk about the overall plans and program. But for the aspiring startups, I'm sure that like, because some people already asked for like the ticket size, Nathan or Anatoly. So I feel that some of the people who are watching us right now are the founders, maybe early stage, maybe a little bit later stage. What would your suggestions or any kind of like tips for aspiring entrepreneurs in this domain?
Yeah, good question. I think what I can comment on is, well, I'll comment on a couple of things, but the pitch decks that we get and some of the things that we don't necessarily like per se. So there's two things really. I think one, and this comes back to our criteria in that first bucket of market and market sizing specifically, but we love to see businesses and founders and companies that really have a good grasp of how big their market is, how obtainable it is, and that isn't coming to us and saying, the commercial real estate market is $1 billion in annually, and we're going to obtain a percent of that through our product, and it's going to be 100 million. We really want to see a granular assessment of, here within our reach are these possible kind of partners and customers. Here's how we're going to go after them. Here's how big our obtainable market is from. So it's kind of a bottom up approach, and it shows a really good awareness and also the effort and the time that's been put in. But yeah, so that's one thing. And then I think the second thing we often or we don't see, which we would like to see more, is people being upfront with their weaknesses. It can be, our team's lacking this, or my experience, might not be here, or, we're a bit poor in our marketing division, or whatever it might be. But it's being upfront with them and then showing how you are addressing them and you're aware of them and you're improving on them. Like, investors don't expect a shiny, business, especially not at this stage. I don't think there's any flawless businesses in general in the world, but what you want to see is people who are upfront and honest and willing to identify and improve on those areas.
That sounds so familiar, right? Because you're a startup, definitely you are going to sort some things out. But if you at least have your processes, if you're transparent, if you can show that you are learning every day, because that's the beauty. Because if you're a good entrepreneur, if you are dealing with something big, and to be honest, all of the markets are billion-dollar markets anyway. So I think out of like 30,000 applications that we get for like various different programs, I didn't see a market less than maybe 500 million. Like, nobody says that their problem is less than $500 million. So, but unfortunately, not everyone went there just yet. We have great companies. We have few companies about to be unicorns soon, which are our graduates. We are quite proud of them. That's great. But to be honest, like, I'm really happy that you joined today, because one of the reasons that we wanted to make the PropTech program with a lot of different partners is I still teach like innovation in London, in Turkey, in different universities. And when we look for the investment money going to R&D, of course, you do have a lot of R&Ds, but you see like telecoms, insurance companies, banking, healthcare, the money and the investment is too big. So if you go to a bank, then probably you'll have an innovation team of maybe hundreds of people. It is not the same in construction, real estate, or because it's more like a segregated market. companies are quite big still, but for those kind of efforts, they kind of need this kind of push from different people. And some people are managing the property, some people constructing, some people are maybe providing the solutions or the resources. So I hope this program can enable different types of companies doing something in property industry and push them in an innovation way. And maybe we can have some of the companies who are already applied, maybe some companies you already have in your portfolio as well. Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you for your time. And hope to see you in the jury day.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this session. And now we are going to go with the next panel that we have. So I can ask Sabina, Toygun, and Dilshat to turn on their cameras. I would have introduced it, but let me just introduce Sabina. Sabina is the CEO of Hackquarters. She's going to be moderating the panel and the rest of the event. And for everyone who joined, thank you very much. Again, some of you already applied for the program. If you feel that you have any other questions, don't feel free to join us. So I'm leaving the stage to you guys. I hope you'll have a great panel. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Khan. You can stop maybe sharing. Yes. So Toygun, welcome. Dilshat, welcome. I hope, yes, so we can see you now. Thank you for joining. First of all, thank you for joining for the program in general, because I know the attempt that you have towards the open innovation. Khan told a lot about the R&Ds and the investment that the companies are investing into the R&D and into the technology in general. But Renaissance is one of the companies that is going toward the collaborating with the startups and looking for new technology and new solutions in the market, especially in PropTech. So I'm happy to have you today as our panelists. I'm happy to have you as our program partners as well, because you have intention to work with the startups who apply today and before this event. And it will be great to get your vision about this kind of innovation steps, let's say. So Dilshat is a marketing manager at Renaissance, and Toygun is a commercial real estate director at Renaissance Gayrimenkul. It's a Renaissance real estate. And maybe my first question will be to Dilshat, just to let's talk about the company itself, about Renaissance. So can you tell us, can you provide more information about the company in general? So what are the business streamlines that you are operating? What are the markets that you are operating, and maybe that you are focusing on as well?
Hi, Sabina. Thank you for your representation. And we are very happy to participate in PropTech organization. And hello, everyone. And I want to briefly summarize Renaissance. We started our operations in 1993 in Russia. And today we operate in many different sectors. And our main sectors is construction, real estate, health, energy. And we are in a wide geographical area extending from the Netherlands to the Far East, but especially operating in Turkey and Europe. So we are constructing huge buildings, huge constructions, but today we are especially talking about the real estates. And in Turkey, we have got 13 shopping centers in Turkey in seven different cities, from Istanbul to Anatolian side also in the middle of Turkey. And we are making residence units also in the cities. And we have got office buildings also. And we are reaching so many people with our real estates. And we are the biggest real estate developer in Turkey. So we are touching so many people and from their life, in every aspect of life also. So we are developing our real estates, especially basing on technological side. So we are excited for looking for new solutions which may bring convenience to our customers.
Perfect. Yes, I mean, this is the the advantage of the PropTech sector, actually, because like you are as a Renaissance, as one of the examples, you're operating in such many sectors, like construction of hospitals, of airports, of some industrial
Energy,
buildings,
also so many, yes.
energy, yes, of course, as well. But at the same time, it's very important to focus on something. And during this program, we decided to focus on the real estate. But at the same time, it's a very customer oriented experience as well on your side, I know, because like even while the building itself, constructing the building, you are thinking first about the customer experience, about the customer satisfaction as well, and trying to bring some value added upon the major product actually that you are providing. Beside the real estate itself, you are also thinking about like adding some additional innovational tools that can be incorporated and bring more customer satisfaction. So I think that from the perspective of the variety of the advantages that the sector can propose, PropTech is like one of the most diverse sector in this innovation ecosystem, let's say. Thank you very much, Dilshad. And my question will be to Toygun. The next question, Toygun, I know like you are the commercial director of the real estate in the company, and what are the strategies towards the real estate in general? Because I know, especially after COVID, you have introduced, and started several new business lines as well. So what's on your mind? So what are the new ideas that you are implementing right now in real estate?
Thank you, Sabina, Kaan, and also the valuable members of Hackquarters. I would like to start to thank you making this special gathering happen. Since we have been knowing each other over 8 years now, and in the past we worked on some different projects, but when you come with the idea of this PropTech challenge and reached us, it was super excited, and we are very glad to be here. And everyone, thank you for the ones who joined today. It's a very pleasure. I think this will be a huge step for all the partners with this program to benefit from each other, whilst reshaping the future of work we live and we entertain, and in summary, all our experience of life, to be put this way, because the real estate really covers everything in that manners. And the shot summarized our global company structure really well, but I just want to share a little additional data for the audience. As the Renaissance Real Estate Development Company, well, we are currently owning 9 shopping malls and 3 mixed-use projects, including like shopping mall, residences, hotels, and offices in 7 different cities across Turkey. And it's around like close to 1 million square meters of gross leasable area. And imagine that we are hosting like 100 million visitors each year. So we touch the lives of many people in our premises. And what we aim is the best experience for them that may have, no matter the conditions are. And as you mentioned, the pandemic, we all went through that global pandemic issue, and it's really changed all the ways we live, work, and entertain, and it forced every individual and companies in search of new ways of doing things. And thanks to technology that we adapted real fast to this new environment and become more flexible and ease the challenges we face. So that's the strategy, I may put it this way. And by saying that, at that time, we decided to make an innovation and enter the co-working industry to make these collaborations and sharing the ideas together. And we made it happen in the Maltepe Piazza project that we own, where also our headquarters is based, to be more connected with those companies and people that we work with. And living with this power of collaboration and sharing and developing these experiences, this was the first step of our vision to support driving the innovation for various industries. Mm-hmm. And by this opportunity, I would like to also give 2 exciting news for the ecosystem. because GEODER, the Association of Real Estate Investment Companies, for the ones who are not familiar, is Turkey's real estate platform, is going to launch its the first PropTech hub center in Maslak, where also the Yıldız Teknik University Technopolis is based. So it will be a research and development facility for only PropTech companies, startups, and entrepreneurs. So it's very exciting, and by the end of this year, it will be opening. And as the member of this association, we support this progressive movement, which will enable the sustainability leg as a facilitator for this innovation. And the second one is that also we are planning to make a mini technology center connected to our co-working space. So also the startups who are successful to enter that facility will benefit from the governmental privileges. So the strategy is now to be more connected to resolve all those issues that may come in the future as well, and together to build this technology and innovations faster together. So this is our strategy now.
Great. So if the PropTech startups want to really work on the product with you or on their own current business model, so they can just come and use this co-working space as well for the creating like a real community and ecosystem, because for the startups it's very important to be among the same kind of like-minded people, of course. And that's really great. I'm really happy to see how Renaissance is testing. I mean, like this startup approach, actually startup mindset. It's also inside of the company, because you're also testing different kind of business models, business lines, trying to create a hub here or some facility or use some tools based on the thing that you already have. And, while working on this program, actually, we have a deeply dive into this problem and challenges of the PropTech industry. And right now it seems that the PropTech, it's all about big data. It's all about artificial intelligence and how everything is connected. So that's why the connectivity is like one of the major issue right now between the customers, between the materials and devices that are incorporated initially into the construction, like from the foundation, let's say. And I know, Dilshad, that you already have some good, successful cases collaborating and integrating new technologies and collaborating with the startups. So maybe you can mention some of the initiatives, let's say some of the steps that you already have, and the thing that the tangible cases that they can share.
Yes, sure. And you are very right, Sabina, because that property and technology is very different ideas, looking from the different aspect, because that our company is full of architects and engineers, and we know only build, but matching with technology is different idea. So I had a dream 6 years ago for creating a mobile application for, yes, it is funny, but it is very creative idea in our company, because that 6 years ago, I had a project with mobile application using in shopping center. As we stated that we have got 12 shopping center in Turkey, and all of them is very huge, and we reaching 100 million visitors every year. So I had a dream, and I explained to our board members, and they laughed at me at first time, because they say that forget about it. We don't understand in technology, mobile application. What's a mobile application? And so we started. It's a big challenge for me also, because that it was my dream, but I must to convince everyone to contribute our project and support me. And then we started mobile application. It's shopping, and it is a great journey, and it was a long journey for me and for my team also. We started during pandemic period. It was very rush time, because that shopping mall closed at weekends, and we have very, very little visitors because restaurants are closed, cinemas closed, and our shopping malls suddenly turns deadly malls in US like us. So we using shopping as a tool for catching customers. We create a cryptocurrency in shopping, and we how can I say that? For instance, one customers come to shopping mall and expense shopping something, buying something, and we will give link points to the every shopping instead of gift.
So it's
we
like
will
tokens that they can
yes,
use.
such as
Okay.
such as token or Bitcoin. We can say that it is currency, our currency, and then it turns in it creates effects because that we have got 100 actively users in shopping at the moment, and I'm very happy to say that it turns to fintech application. And we had a great collaboration with one of the huge fintech starter. I say that it is not startup at the moment. It is huge, you know, the company
Yeah,
at the
it's a
moment
fintech
because
company.
of confidential
Yes, of course.
contract. Yes, but I know that all participants know the company. So that it was a very great journey and it was great lesson for us. 6 years ago, no one believed that any technology brings new things, new creative ideas for our properties, because properties is buildings, big buildings, huge construction. So they see that our company and our value, see that innovation is one of our company values at the moment. So that every day technology is changing very speedily. So we create new innovations. And also Toygun stated about office thing. We haven't got any co-work spaces before because we know shopping center, residences, and office buildings. Also, we construct and manage our properties. So also during pandemic period, we look for some alternative solution for considering to being operative our properties. So we create co-work and officing our new baby after shopping. So the name is very similar, officing, shopping, and it's going like that.
It's a brand already.
Yes, it is our main brand. And we are now looking for new residences. We are constructing residences, and we want to supply for new ideas and new solutions. As I confidently say that I don't know what is a solution for residences, because that it is very hard combining technology and property together. But I know that there will be a solution also. So we are looking for new solutions, and our aim to provide customer satisfaction and for convenience in their daily life.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as I remember while we were talking, you are also trying to make the life of the customers easier as well. So especially after COVID, as you mentioned, I mean, everything became touchless right now. So we're living in the touchless world, or the world to become touchless in the very end. So that's why everything should be customized according to the like preferences of the customers from the beginning, and especially the place where we are operating, where we're working and living. So this is the places where we're spending a lot of time of our lives, you know. So that's why if the smart homes or smart buildings already know, analyze us, so of course this is most probably that might be one of the kind of hints that we can provide to the startups, how the construction companies and the real estate companies can operate with the customers from the beginning of this journey, you know, and follow them until they get some satisfaction as well. So we actually touched the issue with the startups. So, and maybe my last question will be to both of you, Toygun and Dilshad. So, because we will go with the questions after that, but I want to ask about your expectation from this collaboration. So what kind of maybe what kind of solution, what kind of stage of the startup so you are expecting to join? Of course, they should be in capacity to work with such a big company as yours, but at the same time, maybe you can provide your ideas on that to make it more clear, at least for the founders, you know, who apply for the program.
Well, to be honest, I don't want to put, or we don't want to put any limits of the ideas that will help.
Ideas are precious as well, you know, Toygun. Ideas are precious as well, because based on that, you can co-create something as well,
Yes.
you know, like,
yes.
Yeah, of course.
As Sam mentioned, like decarbonizing, that we as a company have a goal to go to zero emission by 2027. We are working on those projects. We know our responsibility is touching the lives of this community, and you know, developing those structures, properties, and everything in the safe, secure, and sustainable way. And also, we really care about the satisfaction of the users and the public and the community. So the affection areas is real great in our business, and we would like to really see any opportunities that we can develop any successful and solid and sustainable projects. So we are open for partnerships in that manners, and we can, you know, co-create, as you mentioned, that there are ways that we can do together. Today, we share the flats, the offices, even the tools that we use to, you know, save time, money, increase our wealth and health and everything. We are developing new projects, and we will continue to do so. We are always willing to create better, sustainable services and make it easier, accessible, and more enjoyable for everyone. So therefore, we are open to all ideas and ready to support these new technologies, the companies and solutions, and very excited to see the outcome of this challenge.
Perfect. Thank you, Toygun. Dilshat, would you like to add something?
Yes, I can add one more thing. As I stated that we are constructing new residences at the moment. So we are looking for something for building information system. I know that it is very funny, but in Turkey, there is no any residences supply, any big system in Turkey. And we want to service our customers, as you stated before, Sabina, from the beginning at the end of and daily routine of their life. So we want to supply an advantage and any solution provider and easy. It may be a mobile application or it's anything else. It's their dream, but we want to provide new solutions in Turkey, and we make the first in Turkey also.
Yeah, that's great. Of course, you mentioned, I mean, as you are operating in different countries, so for the startup, it's additional advantage because they can expand their sales pipelines, not only from, of course, there is always some test market, but at the same time, they can consider some broader regional approach as well. And as we said, I mean, all our discussion was dedicated to that, actually, that Renaissance is ready to collaborate with the startups, ready to support with the startups. And actually, among the questions, we already have questions from the participants. So what is the address of these platforms that opened that you mentioned, Toygun? So people are asking about the address. Most probably you will announce that when it will be open, and we as Hackquarters will also share maybe some information when the address will be when you will share the address.
Sure. One will be in Maslak district, the other is in Maltepe district. So it's they will be like a European and Anatolian side.
European and Asian side of Istanbul.
Yes. And I will be giving the details to you.
Okay. We will be sharing as well. Thank you very much. It was really cool discussion. I'm really excited and happy because all our work at Hackquarters, our mission is at Hackquarters is like to bring together the corporate partners, like a big companies in different sectors, in different verticals with the startups, and support startups to grow, support founders to grow. So that's why it's absolutely motivating and absolutely encouraging when you see when the corporate companies are eager to collaborate, are eager to incorporate the small technological solutions, you know, small startups into their current business models, and even propose the opportunity for them to scale to some other markets, go to some other countries as well together with them, to grow with them. So this is what happens. We have very good successful cases as well, and of course we will be happy if we will have like cases in PropTech, especially when you are so enthusiastic in incorporating all these valuable solutions into what you already have, to all these construction sites and construction projects that you have. So I think that that's really great. Okay, I think we can move to questions. If we're answering the questions as they were popping up. If you have questions, guys, please feel free to type your question to the Q&A. People are asking about the certificate for participation at the webinar. We are not providing certificate for participation at the webinar because this webinar is, the aim of this webinar is to provide information to the startups who will apply, who intend to apply to the challenge. We still receive application until the 2nd of October, as Kaan mentioned, and that's why the final point for us to reach is not like this webinar, but it will be the final challenge day when we will present the most appropriate startups in the market. We don't say the best because it's not a competition, it's the startup that we are looking for the right startups, you know, who might address the challenges that the corporate partners have, and the outcome, the most valuable outcome for us, of course, it will be the collaboration between you and between the startups. So that's so after collaboration, maybe we can give the certificate if you are interested. So maybe we can give the certificates as well. So thank you very much. And I would also love to share okay, you see my screen, right? Or no? Okay, I will just share the screen. In the end of the event, I would love to share the evaluation form that we have for all the participants. Please feel free to scan it and to provide your feedbacks about the forms. If you have any questions but you couldn't ask them, also feel free to ask, because these feedbacks are very valuable for us during the program, and we will share them with all the partners as well. And if you will have any kind of questions, you always are free to reach our team, hello@Hackquarters. We're always open for you. And as we said, I mean, like applications are open until the 2nd of October. We're waiting for all the startups to apply. If you think that you are appropriate for the program, if you think that your solution touched some of the points that Dilshad and Tuygun mentioned, and if you're interested in the partners, collaborating with our partners, so you can also apply. Because sometimes, I mean, based on the question that we received from the startups, they don't know if their solution can be suitable for the partners, but still we will definitely scrutinize, you know, like all the applications, go one by one by all because we're asking for the presentation, we're asking for the decks, so we will be checking all the desks and turn back to you as well as soon as possible. So thank you very much for joining us today. It was great to kind of kick off our PropTech challenge, and hope to see you all on 20th of October in the final day. And we're looking forward to know who will be the selected startups. Thank you, all the panelists, Tuygun, Dilshad, thank you for joining, Sam, for such a valuable discussion and the insight that you have provided about your businesses, about your strategies and the perspectives of the PropTech in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabina. It was great.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.